Hello, today I'm going to be talking about proteins. So, proteins are an organic compound. So, an organic compound is anything that has like carbons and is also living. And it's composed of many amino acids, and proteins are actually defined by the amino acids they contain. So, it's because like there are a lot of types of amino acids, so that's why proteins are defined by them. So, what is an amino acid? So, an amino acid is a simple organic compound. So, it's like the building blocks to protein. So, like many amino acids make a protein, and there are three groups of amino acids, which are the amino group, the carboxyl group, and the side chain. So, I'm going to use the pen to show you what each of them are. So, the amino group is this part. As you can see, it's the H3N. So, this is the amino group. The carboxyl group is this part, the COOH. Yeah, also the H. So this is the carboxyl group, and the side chain is the R. So yeah. So a polypeptide is like a chain of amino acids. So it's almost like a necklace, and the amino acids are the beads, and the polypeptide bonds are like the lace or whatever you use to put your beads on. And they're formed during translation, and as I said, they're joined by peptide bonds. So here we have a small animation that we're going to use to get a better understanding of polypeptides. So they're just going to tell you about yeah. So as you can see, as I said, they're produced during a process. Well, they're formed inside the ribosome during a process called translation. So proteins are polypeptides that are folded into specific three-dimensional structures. So here you have a lot of proteins. So here's how they make it. So the white parts are the peptide bonds, while the circle, the colorful balls, they're actually amino acids. So there are many functions of proteins. First of all, proteins are antibodies. So an example of that is IgG. IgG makes up about 75 to 80% of all the antibodies in your in your system. So an antibody is almost like it's a defense system of your body. So imagine your body being a country, for example, America. Your antibodies are your defense system. So for example, if an antigen, which is like maybe a foreign force, maybe the French army, so if they come and try to attack your body, which is America, the antibodies, which is your defense system or your military, they will come and try to kill it off. Contractile proteins such as actin, they help for the movement of the body. Enzymes such as pepsin, they help to like facilitate biochemical reaction. So like for example, lactase, sorry, it breaks down like the sugar and like the sugar that is in the milk so it can make energy. Another one is hormonal proteins such as insulin. Well, they're kind of messenger proteins and they help to coordinate like bodily activity. So yeah, like insulin, it's a messenger protein. Another one is structural protein like keratin. Like they enhance and they make your structures much stronger. For example, keratin, it helps to make your hair stronger and I think longer as well, because that's how they advertise it in all the new hair colors, because they have increased keratin or something. And the other one is transporter proteins like hemoglobin. They transport molecules from one place to another. So protein folding is when a straight chain of amino acid turns into a protein. So there are four levels. The first level is when a straight chain of amino acids forms. There may be two or three chains when they join by I think by a bisulfide bond. So the second level is when they start to fold from the edges towards the middle. So it's almost like they're twisting and turning and almost clumping up together. The third level is the same thing. They continue to twist and turn, but now they keep using more bridges and more bonds. And the fourth level is when all of the chains create the protein. Here you have a picture of the fourth level. So as you can see, all these different chains, the green, the purple, the red, they've created a protein now. So protein structure and function. The thing that's fundamental to it is genetics. So genetics is DNA and RNA. The reason why it's fundamental to protein structure and function is because DNA helps to transport the proteins, and DNA is the reason why why the proteins actually are there. So let's talk about protein in the diet. Proteins are really important for any human being's diet because proteins serve a lot of functions in the body, and you really need to have them in your body. So, dietitians recommend about zero point 0.4 grams to zero point 0.7 grams of proteins per pound that you weigh. The ratio varies a little because adults need more proteins than maybe really small children, so that's why there's a huge gap in the ratio. So, like for example, a person who weighs 100 pound, he'll probably need 50 grams of proteins if we look at the 0.5 grams per pound ratio. You've probably also heard of protein supplements, and you've probably heard of it in a good and also a bad way. So, protein supplements are extra proteins that bodybuilders and a lot of people who want to lose weight really quick take. Well, they are good in a way because they actually help you lose weight pretty quickly, and they also help you to like make your to like speeden up the repair of the tissues and the making of tissues so you have more muscles. But they can also be bad because in most countries where they have protein supplements, the government doesn't require the manufacturers to put all the ingredients in the supplements on the box. So you might actually be taking something really harmful that you actually don't know of, or you could have prevented if you knew of it. A lot of people also talk about vegetable versus animal protein, and there's kind of a urban, well, it's not an urban myth, but it's kind of a misunderstanding that vegetable protein doesn't have as much protein as animal protein, but that's actually quite wrong because vegetable and animal protein almost have the same amounts of protein. But the thing is, vegetable protein can actually be much more healthier because when you want to have animal protein, you're probably going to have a steak or fish or something. And along with protein, you're getting fats and cholesterol and a lot of other unhealthy things. But with vegetable protein, which is, for example, soya beans or something, you're actually not getting any fat because soybeans have no fat. So you're actually becoming more healthy if you have vegetable proteins rather than animal proteins because it's proteins nonetheless, but it's much healthier. Thank you for listening to my proteins podcast.